Greetings, webheads, and welcome to episode 16 of Witty Banter, yet another Marvel Crisis Protocol podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Alex.
Nightcrawler.
I am Jack's inflamed sense of rejection.
Nobody is going to ever know who we are. This is fantastic. We are here to help you get better at and have more fun with your Crisis Protocol. Since we talked to you guys last and had our big collaboration with House Party Protocol, thanks again for Will for hosting us. That was fun. We, as a group, went down to Kansas and participated in Show-Me Showdown. You guys want to talk a little bit just about kind of how that went and what you thought of the event?
Didn't we get a new Patreon this week?
We did. We'll get there. I just kind of wanted to do a little intro.
Okay, cool. No worries. I just want to make sure.
We brought the
didn't
squad.
forget.
Oh no, absolutely
We showed
not.
up with, I don't remember the count. Was it 10?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, there were 10 of us.
Was there 10? I was thinking
was
we
us
had
four.
like an entire starting offense.
Landon Michael, Bob Cray, and Logan. Oh no, yeah, Michael was
No,
signed
Michael.
up, but
Michael
he didn't.
didn't come.
He
No,
didn't
Michael.
come. Who am I missing? Oh,
That's-
Tom. Duh.
That's right. I thought it was going to be
And-
11.
Was that it?
Yep.
No, I feel bad. Maybe I'm missing somebody.
That's
So us four, Landon, Bob,
Oh,
Cray,
Adam. I forgot Adam.
7, Adam, Tom, Logan.
and we had one of our group in the
Bob
in,
cleaning
in the
house.
championship game. He was, man, just crushing it.
Defenders are good.
Defenders are good. I can, given the amount of defenders that I got my face punched in by, I can speak with experience. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we saw at Show Me and how it's really the first event that we've had a chance to get to that has been since the card rotation. So what we want to do is kind of get some thoughts about how we see the game has changed since the big rotation. But as Alex mentioned, first and foremost, we have a new patron we want to say thank you to. Chris McFadden has joined us as a spider friend. Thanks, Chris. We really appreciate your support. We're looking forward
Shout out to Chris.
to hearing from you.
We met up with him down at
If
Show Me,
you-
and he had to go through the gauntlet of all his locals, quote unquote locals. I think he played Kenny, Aaron, and Quentin. Yeah,
Wow.
he got thumped on. Sorry, dude.
Oof. That's always rough when you go to a tournament
Just like
and end up just kind
like,
of being a local
The timing
game
of
day.
those pairings had to just be like so stupid. Like one of them,
It was really,
like
yeah.
he had to meet one like super early to thump on him, and then one of I think
Every single time.
I think someone was it Aaron. I think Aaron Kenny played and like knocked Kenny down to one loss, and then I bet Chris paired him there. Maybe I'm not sure. He got like the chances of that happening are just crazy because I think Quentin finished 4-1, and I think Aaron finished 4-1, and Kenny finished. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
Kenny finished 3-2 or 4-1. I think it was 3-2,
I think
which is like
Kenny
that's just
finished
nuts.
3-2.
Well, yeah, and then
I know Chris, you got
and me and you got paired on round 2.
Chris got Quentin
Yeah.
round 1.
And then Patrick and I got
It's
paired round
weird.
5. So I had to fight almost everybody on this podcast.
Yeah, for a
I didn't really like
Congratulations.
it. I'd rather beat somebody else up.
No, I don't. Yeah, particularly when there was like 30 some.
Yeah, I
it was
think
like
it was
30 some person event.
It had to go 5 rounds. So it was over 32. It was like 34 or 5, something like that. Was it 36?
Yep.
Okay.
36.
Was it
It was
36?
36 after Michael dropped, yeah.
That's a good size event. So anyway, we want to give a big thank you to Chris. If you would like to join Chris in being supportive of us on Patreon, Somebody want to let the webheads know how they can join Chris in being a spider friend?
Leave a review.
You can. You can also go to patreon.com/wittybantercast. For as little as $1 a month, you can be not only giving, helping support us, helping us to keep produce content, but you can also get extra entries into our giveaway. You can also be getting priority dojos for rosters that you send in. Spoiler alert, we have a dojo that's coming up right now that we're going to be talking about. Get priority questions answered, access to our bonus feeds, and a whole bunch of other cool extra bonuses. So if you would like to help us out, patreon.com/wittybantercast. Come and join the neighborhood. So we do have a roster that we got sent in. And let's go ahead and go over that. It actually kind of dovetails in a little bit to the conversation we're going to have about Show Me, because Ben, gentleman who put the roster in, also then sent us how we changed the roster after the rotation. So let me just go over the roster itself. Hello, feel free to just refer to me as Ben. Okay, hi Ben. I'm looking between Web Warriors and Midnight Suns. The only real restriction on this is the affiliations, otherwise I'm all in for any swaps. Characters: Blade, Moon Knight, Dr. Voodoo, Immortal Hulk, Wong, Black Cat, Hawkeye, Gwenom, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Amazing Spider-Man. Tactics: Bats the Ghost Hound, Siege of Darkness, All Webbed Up, Mass Menace, Disarm, Brace for Impact, Cat and the Spider, Eyes on the Prize, One Below All, and Smash. Secure Crises, Infinity Formula, Mutant Madmen, and Scoundrels. Extract, Cubes, Hammers, and Legacy. The changes after in the post-rotation world, he swapped Sacrifice for Disarm, he swapped Recal for Smash, and he swapped Lethal Protector for Eyes on the Prize. He also benched Gwenom for Venom. So that's Ben's roster. What's the first thing, just hearing kind of that first run over of the list, that comes to mind with you guys?
All right. So I've been thinking about this. So I've been playing a ton of webs for what, like 4 months, something like that.
Yeah,
It's been a while. Yeah, I've been playing a ton of webs. So I've been thinking about this, and so I was noticing that the last time I played UJP, when you played Suns, and when I played Landon on Friday, I was noticing that the two of you you went to a more scory approach with Midnight Suns, and I was thinking maybe there's something to that, and maybe you can try to like have something tall for if you get on to like Gamma or whatever, or research, and then probably just try to go scory outside of that, and then you pick whichever one is going to do the best job of scoring. Like if you need web score power, then maybe you pivot into a
How does one
website.
know when they need web score power over Midnight Sun score power?
I would think it would maybe it's into like webs or something.
So you just take webs into webs? I think you're a dog there though, right? Because your webs roster isn't as good as theirs.
Yeah, maybe it is the sun side. I mean, Voodoo is good into webs, and Blade is fine.
I want to entertain the thought of the list, but I don't think Midnight Suns is that great at the dual affiliation. I don't think it's completely needless in the roster, but it's definitely, I don't know. I think you got to be careful. Like you said, I think you can bring it in. Like you could bring in like a Suns pivot for researcher or something, because webs are not very good on that. But other than that, I think you want to just stick with the webs plan and have that just contingency for 15 on researcher.
Let's take a step back, JP. Why do you think Midnight Suns aren't amenable to a dual affiliation roster?
Because they're already a mid-range team, so they can... Like, the point of the list is to just be flexible-ish. So, I mean, if your list is already a flexible affiliation, I don't know. I'm not sure if, like, a dual affil is worth a squeeze. Like David was saying, you can set up... Like, the list I have is, like, pretty... I can swing very attrition heavy or scenario focused, like between like, so if you're going into scenario versus scenario, you're probably against webs, maybe Hellfire. Let's just say for the sake of, well, it's a better example for me, but sake of argument, we'll just say webs. So you got Blade, who's got a mystic attacker. You got Voodoo, who's a mystic attacker and has a steal. You got Cat, that has the steal. And then Ice Splash, Rhino, who also has a steal. So, like, I can't go as wide as the webs with their double twos, but I don't know if I want to. I think in that scenario, being the mid-range team, you are still playing the beatdown against webs. You can't, I don't know if you can necessarily out scenario webs, but you have a lot of scenario tools and you can play beatdown with your mystic attackers and kind of put them on the back foot in the scenario game. I don't know if...
Oh yeah, and like stuff like Siege can be pretty important too there, right? Like a Siege attack with Voodoo or, even Blade.
Well, the other thing is
Those can be
if you bring...
valuable.
If you're ready for a beatdown, you can just bring the beatdown. Like, I think you want to bring... I mean, we could get to that later on Secures, but I think you want to bring a Researcher here.
Oh, in this roster?
It's like Suns can play beatdown with Immortal Hulk just fine. The guy's impossible to kill if you do it right.
Yeah, I don't hate Researcher here either. I think Researcher replaces Virus. That's my first thing I would replace.
Okay, so we're looking at Crisis first.
No, I'm skipping ahead. I guess I'm just like mouth diarrheaing right now. Like, I'm just like, I'm talking about everything.
So I think let's go start with really the underlying concept, because I mean everything else is sort of focusing around a true affiliate, a true dual affiliated webs Midnight Suns roster, and it sounds like you guys for the most part are kind of questioning that premise.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do it personally. I don't think it's a good mix, but I mean, if we're doing it for an exercise, if he really wants to play dual affiliated, I don't think it's optimal. But like, if that's his thing, we'll make a list. We'll tune it.
Okay. So so if we're starting with the premise that that's what we're doing, then maybe let's go with the roster itself, especially with Venom switched in for
which I'm going to say I think is a mistake.
Yeah, I hate
that
switch.
I kind of thought that too.
Gwenum,
I mean, I get it in the sense that
Midnight Sun
to use
seems
the
just
card.
ridiculous. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's a weird juxtaposition because it's a Webs character that is being used in a Webs Midnight Sun roster, but if it was only a Webs list, it wouldn't have her, and if it was only a Midnight Suns list, there's a good possibility it would have her. So it's just like, I don't consider Gwenum like
a good
dual affiliated character for the two lists. Like she almost is just like pure Suns to me.
Yes, I would agree with that. I just don't know if I necessarily like her in webs that much, but like the reasoning that he had for swapping them, I mean, it's not a bad reason. It's just not a good enough reason to swap for
Yeah, I
Gwenum.
mean
You know what I
a
mean?
one-shot bodyguard with a tactics card. It's
One shot bodyguard, but he dishes out bleed pretty easily. And he's also got a lot of control.
yeah, I mean a bump is good on a medium base. Venom doesn't really he doesn't have a great I mean he's medium base small mover. He's not super slow, but he's slower for sure. Bumping medium base is definitely good for him. But man, it like puts Gwenum into overdrive.
It just totally does. Well, and I was looking at her the other day, and I was like, I thought her stupid reroll was only 2 dice, but it's any. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
all dice.
okay, that's pretty freaking good.
Yeah, she's super irritating.
Forgive me. I shouldn't say all dice because that wording is technically incorrect. I don't know if it's any or all, but
It's
it lets
any.
her re-roll
It's
whatever the
It's
maximum
any,
says.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So I think if I was gonna pick
yeah,
between the two, I'd put Gwenum back in for sure.
that's what I think too.
I agree. I think Gwenum is a better choice there. And I mean, she's still got a little bit of control too because she has a character throw as well. So it's not like she doesn't have any. And the fact that she can pivot to get where you
Yeah,
need that control
for
is
sure.
super helpful.
And her clapback could get annoying.
So other than
I mean, it can
can
get annoying.
can confirm. So other than maybe putting Gwenum back in the roster, are there any other sort of obvious roster changes that you'd want to make, either to have to be effective in both teams, or that if you're going to play it in one team, it's a character you just really
I think
want
you
to
throw
have?
Hawkeye
Yeah, I'm not sure
out.
what
I don't
Hawkeye's
know what
doing.
he's doing. He's not affiliated either one. He doesn't make good use of the bump because he already has his place.
Yeah.
Like,
Moon Knight's another weird one. Where like
yeah,
he's a web and he's a Midnight Suns, but like you don't find any webs list running him.
I Yeah, I don't hate Moon Knight. I always like the character, and anytime I have a web roster, he's always like that 10th
well,
character consideration.
the
I just like Moon
He's
Knight
even
though.
worse now with
the stocks on Moon Knight, the stocks on Moon Knight were better before the rotation because the R and
yeah, that's
D,
exactly
right?
what I was
Because he
gonna
could
say.
like, because he could whatever activate. Maybe he gets the move. Maybe he gets whatever. Maybe he gets a power, and then he moves somewhere. Rapid fires, passes like 4
Yeah.
power.
Huge R&D battery.
Yeah, yeah. I would say the Hawkeye definitely gets dropped. And then yeah, Moon Knight stock definitely did go down. If we were to drop those two characters, I think you put Spec and Toad in there.
If he's thinking, if he's got Hawkeye in wanting something at range, would you
No.
look at Silver Sable?
No, I don't. I don't know what Sable's doing with the bump, and I don't like her in webs. She just
I mean,
doesn't.
do you need a range 5 character?
Doesn't do.
A lot of webs have range
Yeah, like
4 with impact webbing.
No.
I don't know. The other thing is like we're gonna end up stepping on alter ego toes with like ASM
yeah.
and Spectacular and then Gwenum and Gwen. It's like
Well, and I think
Yeah,
think
but I mean, current webs they run both spec and ASM. So the
Well,
alter
it
ego
is an issue
combo-
because
that's
it's a
when
dual
it's
affill, right?
single affiliated. Yeah. So like I don't think Spectacular is very good in Suns. Like, because I don't think he wants to spend power to bump. Like, it just doesn't really do much for him. And then it's just weird on the other side because then you don't have. Then it's like if you wanted to be affiliated and have 2 3s and um amazing, or you can't fit Spectacular, you have to take Spectacular because it might be weird with the Tetris.
Yeah, the dual affill really taxes the options for webs. Like even if you go minimum dual, it's like Blade, Eye Hulk, and like I don't know, a 4 of some sort for the 15. You got 7 slots left. Like what does a webs roster kick out first? Like a dedicated webs roster. Like out of its 10 to get to 7. Does it boot its fifth 3?
Yeah, probably ends up being like
Does it
Zemo
boot a 2?
Well, I like Wong in
Yeah, I mean
webs,
he's great in webs for
so
sure.
that's fine. Um,
I guess we should
don't
think of what
know.
we're trying to make the list. Are we like just shaping the list as we go, or do we have like a goal in mind as far as like are we trying to like do the 3 Midnight Suns 15 contingency, or are we actually making like a dual affiliated list where like the problem becomes like when do you pick what? Like the line is blurred quite a bit if you just have like an even split. Like I don't know what the list does then.
Maybe we just do that. Maybe we just do the three affiliated picks.
Okay, so let's get
Or
that out of
like
the way then. It's Blade, Eye Hulk, and
so Cat's gonna stay in the roster, right? And
yeah,
Wong, right?
I guess you could. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But we need a 4.
Oh,
I don't think Gwenem
yeah.
is the play as the 4 there.
Is it Voodoo?
Maybe it's Voodoo. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say why not?
like
Voodoo?
it's
He's
on
already in the
researcher,
roster.
so like his steel isn't there.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah. I do like Gwenem there,
do you?
actually. I think so. Like Blade Eye Hulk, Gwen.
Yeah, because I mean they're still affiliated at
So
that.
what? So you jam Eye Hulk and you got Venom Blade or Gwenem Blade. They're incentivized to attack Gwenem then.
I mean, you got to figure you're also going to be on whatever your opponent's secure is. So maybe it's like researcher in a D or something.
Are you saying to go send Gwenem out to a side?
Yeah, or just have her reposition wherever the hell she wants to.
Maybe. I guess she could be. She could pick on people, I guess. It depends on like if you want all your guys to be. Are you going all in on the researcher? I guess you could sort of castle with her in a way with the clapback if they want to attack somebody else. Or she could split off. I don't hate it.
I mean, she can also do interesting plays like maybe it's a D, maybe she moves onto the researcher, throws somebody off, punches somebody, rotates to the other side.
He's definitely mobile. It's probably fine. I think I'm having a hard time getting a reading on the meta. I guess I haven't really seen any like tournament results or anything. But I don't know if like the kaiju thing is still a thing. At least on the scale that it was. Like at 15,
No, not really.
If a team brings researcher,
the things that I've been noticing,
Alex, what like what is there? What's like the good 15s to bring on researcher at this point in the game? Just the game for beat. I mean, if you're bringing researcher, you're bringing
what would be the
beatdown.
best
just in general, or
So
Yeah, like what do you think is best? So I mean, Star Lord, CGR, Hulk.
it's still good.
that's a pretty common one. Or Star Lord CGR
Thanos
Bill,
Bill.
or not CGR. Star Lord
Yeah.
Thanos and Bill.
Or Red.
But like what I've been seeing just in the meta in general, Zemo and Namor are running amok right now.
Yeah, the double reroll. It's cute. I don't know if it's
Yep.
good. I mean, it probably has more legs on something like Gamma, where you're gonna be clustered anyway.
Or like Researcher when you're going to be clustered.
Yeah, I mean the double
know.
genius thing is pretty sweet. It's just weird, I guess, because like neither of them have a ranged attack.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah,
lot
that
of
does make it
And I
difficult.
think Namor's not very tanky for a 5.
no. I played Namor against Namor a couple times, and he just I don't know. I've been able to just take him off the board without having much issue, I guess. But I've been playing beatdown kaiju-y stuff though, so it's easy for that list to do that to a Namor list.
I mean, I would agree though, because like I've been playing Spider Foes the last couple of months, and every time I played against Namor, I'm like, oh, that was easy.
I mean, what is he?
Next.
7? Is he 7/7?
7/7. I'm
He's
pretty
got
sure.
He's got 14 health. He's got a reroll.
His health pool is
He's
nice.
4/4/3.
Yeah, it's a nice health pool. Yeah, with the reroll.
Oh, 4/3/3.
I think he's 4/3/3. He might be 4/4/3. Either way, I mean, he's not rolling a crazy number of defense dice.
So we're thinking that if someone brings researcher, what are the lists bringing it then? I guess what I'm getting at is Gwen good into the meta at 15 on researcher? Like, I don't know if I love her into like kaiju lists, but I don't know if kaiju lists are still as much of a problem these days, or if it's like people just bringing researcher to mess with the hard scenario stuff because they just have an advantage there, no matter what.
I could see Shield
think
trying to like pull some sort of wide shooty 15 researcher plan.
But I mean, so theoretically, but like, what do you think? Knowing what you know about the meta right now, who's bringing researcher, and is it good into them?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Shield would probably do
Do
it.
you think Shield is in the meta and they're
I
bringing
mean-
researcher? You think they're?
I don't know if Shield's in the meta, but I mean, I think if they're a team that would bring researcher, it would be.
If we had prepared for this a little more,
It
we
would
could have
be
looked on
them.
Longshanks and figured out what current like lists that have won stuff recently, who run researcher, what their affiliation is.
Well, I mean, how many big
Well,
tournaments
even before the
have
rotation,
gone on since the
I don't know
rotation
if-
though that
I mean-
implemented?
I think the rotation impacts the meta
There.
a little bit, but not. It doesn't really impact too much. Like the good stuff's still the good stuff. I guess Wakanda got kicked in the dick. But I don't think like the standings of any other affiliations really changed that much.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
changed
Yeah,
quite
they
a
dropped
bit.
restricted. They're not as good, but they're still really freaking. I mean, they like.
Yeah, I mean, they dropped a restricted. They lost healing factor. Robbery went up in points. Eyes went out the window.
But I mean, like
mission objectives gone.
yes, but Nothing. I mean, they did run all those cards. It did hurt him a lot. But everyone else lost it too. They probably were impacted a disproportionate amount, I would say, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know how much that drops them, though. I still feel like that leadership is really good. And being able to just pick anybody. I mean, they're getting new
But no, that's
characters.
what I'm saying. Is like I don't know. Right? Yeah, I don't know how much it drops them either. Just because I mean there haven't been too many tournaments
Like they picked up
that
Sif,
I
right?
know of since the rotation.
Anyway, we're getting
So
off topic.
maybe we should pivot back to this roster. Then we can talk
let's
about
just
the
say
setup themselves.
that Gwen is the pick for 15. That way we
Okay.
don't have to put another pick in the list, and we can just lean into seven webs.
So we're pulling Hawkeye. What are we putting in place?
I mean, we got to stuff some threes in there, right? Or webs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Weren't we talking about putting Spectacular?
Yeah,
in
I mean,
there?
you got the alter ego thing. Same with Gwen.
No.
Yeah, there's like those two weird because Gwen would be my other pick, right? Like
Yeah.
Gwen is pretty stupid.
Maybe if the plan is to play webs mostly, I think we kick Gwen out, right? She's not getting.
Putting Gwen?
We kick out Gwen and put in Gwen, right? And then put like Bill in, because webs can use Bill, but he's also good into that 15.
I was just gonna say Bill.
Yeah.
Or and maybe we just keep Voodoo.
Oh, yeah, I think Voodoo's fine. Like he could even go in. He could even go in webs. He's fine.
Yeah, Voodoo's
I don't
still a
have a problem.
solid
Yeah,
pick.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean he's great for the extract game, which they're not going to say no to a model that's good at extract.
Okay, so
You're right though, David.
so
Maybe
we're
something is
tossing.
better. Maybe Spider-Woman is better than Voodoo. I mean, I think we axe all the stuff except Blade and Hulk, and then a 4. I don't think we keep
Shang-Chi?
Blade or Voodoo. Shang-Chi? I mean, I don't hate him in the 15.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The bump
and I
doesn't
like
do a
him in
ton
webs.
for him, but it's fine.
But I mean, yeah, it's fine.
He's a beast.
Still,
He's so annoying.
Good. I cannot truly
I like that.
sitting down and thinking about it.
I mean, I like him in
can't
webs
think of
too,
any
so.
affiliation he's not good in.
Right.
What you're the webs guy right now, David. Like, when are you bringing Shang-Chi?
So Shang-Chi's probably coming on anything that's got a center secure. So if it's got anything, it's like
Scoundrels?
not scoundrels and like gamma and demons and intrusions. Anything that's got something in the middle that he can like just kind of bully around and push people off of.
Okay.
Meteors.
So you're bringing him on a lot more
pretty-
stuff than just like a researcher game or something. Like you're actually.
Yeah, just a reserve game. Yeah.
So he would be good on researcher in the Suns, and he would be good.
Yep.
As a web on like not D's.
Yep.
So that's a good.
I mean, I don't even mind him on a B.
Yeah.
Like,
sure. Yeah.
Too.
So he's good like in both. I think that's probably worth the spot. Because it essentially gives webs 8 characters at that point instead of 7.
And side note, what is it? His stupid tactics card, Chi Mastery, is really dumb with Miles' leadership. It's really stupid.
Yeah.
It's really stupid with Miles' leadership.
I mean, yeah, it's really stupid to begin with, but it just gets dumber with Miles'
stupid
leadership.
with Miles' leadership. So dumb.
So we got We got
Sorry.
Blade, Hulk, Shang, and then we got Miles. We're putting Gwen back in.
Gwen.
Yeah. Cat.
Yep. Cat.
Do we want Spectacular? Or are we leaving Spectacular because we're short 2 guys?
I think you keep I think you put Spectacular in there. The only other thing that I would consider, just because he's so stupid good, and I'm shocked he hasn't been nerfed yet, is Zemo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zemo's a good character, especially in webs. Maybe it's Zemo.
So I will say at Show Me, I noticed that I gravitated more to ASM in a lot more of my
Yeah.
matchups, and in my matchups where I didn't take ASM, I felt like I would have been better off had I taken ASM.
Okay, interesting. So, do you think it's like dropping Spectacular in a 2, essentially? Because like, how often are you taking ASM in 2/2s? Does it happen a lot?
You got to do some. There's like some gymnastics that happens there. It's usually, I think it's like at 19 is like the only time it comes
Yeah,
up.
I was gonna say like, if like, since ASM's 5 and a 3 and a 2 are 5.
You could do like 5 double 2s.
That's 9. 15 or 18.
I mean, you could do it at 15
or 19.
15, 18.
Yeah. I mean,
19
if
and
you
20.
have enough 4s to do it at 20. I don't know if you do though.
Yeah.
So maybe drop Spectacular and a 2. I mean, obviously the problem is it doesn't give you as many options as a typical webs list. And
what 2 are you? What 2 is coming in? Is it?
Yeah, I guess that's true because like we don't really need Wong for Midnight Suns. I think actually it's stocks on both of them are up, right? Like R&D coming out makes Wong good, and Eyes coming out makes Toad good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you just keep both anyway.
Yeah, I think you just keep both of them. And then at that point, you can play Midnight Suns at 17 if you keep Wong in there. You can. I'm not saying it's a good choice or anything like that, but it still gives you the option to be affiliated.
Could be a 17 researcher,
Something weird, maybe.
Okay, so I've got Blade, Hulk, Black Cat, Shang-Chi, ASM, Miles, Spectacular, Zemo, Wong,
How many is
and
that?
Toad. Is that what we're looking at? That's 10? Yeah, that's 10.
I like that.
Do you run into an issue
Bills
with
in there,
Zemo
right?
and double 2s? All unaffiliated.
Bill's not in this list I've got now. Bill's not.
Shang. We swapped Bill for Shang.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Oh, that's good.
Okay, so if this is our list that we're working at, it makes sense to talk about what crisis to can take in, so we can kind of talk about how this list would want to play, and then we can go tactics cards from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Works for me.
Okay. So he's got Infinity, Madmen, and Scoundrels for his secures, and he's got Extract, Cubes, Hammers, and Virus for his extracts. So I guess what's the optimal game plan for what's the best thing this roster as it's currently constituted wants to do? How does it optimize its win percentage?
Well, I mean, I think you want to play Gamma. I think you want to play Gamma because if you get on
Okay.
Gamma Research and you're running Blade, Hulk, Shang-Chi, I mean, that sucks. That's like, I don't think you want to play. That sounds like an awful game. Because Shang-Chi is just going to bully you off
Okay.
the Researcher and the mid Gamma point.
So you're saying that they
And,
take
like,
researcher?
Hulk will stomp.
Okay.
The webs list takes researcher?
Yeah, I think you take Researcher. Yeah.
So does that mean you want to kind of play like other attrition lists where you play
No,
slower
because we've
extracts?
built the list to just be a webs list.
Right.
This is kind of like
Yeah, so I
where
think
you run into issues.
I think you run spiders, right? Like, because even if you had
Okay.
to pivot if you pivoted to the Blade side, Blade is fine on spiders because of the bump, right?
Kinda. I mean, the spider. If the spider displaces you off a point, like bumping isn't going to get back.
Well, it will on Hulk.
Well, no, because I mean, if you short push a large base and then bump it back, you're not on the point anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are. If you put Hulk on the center of a point, you can't you can't be like within one.
You didn't
Well, I'm just
specify that
saying
part,
that's what
David.
you do.
Most people
'Cause, like,
maximize
my
one
brain,
though when they're measuring.
right? That's where my brain goes in almost any
Well,
circumstance
See,
when you're
there's a
talking ranges.
circumstance where you would do that. It's only because I play a shit ton of convo that I would know that. Because the reactive bump is important there. So parking characters right on top of an objective.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you can keep a medium base safe. I think they can bump back and be within one. I think they can.
maybe.
If you place directly on the middle of
Do
the
you
point.
like D's? Do you like D's or Scoundrels better as a
Ease?
for
Oh,
secure?
Scoundrels.
You like Scoundrels better
Scoundrels.
for webs?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. The 20
So
threat,
let's put in Scoundrels.
the cover.
Yeah,
Also, Shang-Chi is
Okay.
also ridiculous on Scoundrels.
I can see
Just
that.
gonna say. Because people make the mistake of like attacking
I
him
spend
when
one
he's in
power to push
cover
somebody off.
with the Miles reroll, and then they're like, "Oh, I attack," and they weren't contesting, and then now he throws you off.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe since we're running the 15,
Sensing.
maybe we can just. I mean, it's a good 15. You can probably just take games with it. Maybe we.
Yep.
Maybe we put in Gamma and Researcher in this list. Make it spicy. Because we can. I mean, we've already built
So
for
the-
Researcher. Why not take it now?
So that way,
Right?
Yeah.
Let's make this dual of fill work for us a little bit. So now when we run into a webs list, we're like, come on, bitch, pick my Researcher.
Yeah.
So they might have an edge on you in the list build. But if they land on your Researcher, they triggered your trap card.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so to be Gamma Scoundrels.
And then
What's the
have you
last?
been liking what's the stupid pay to flip? The D. What'd you say, Alex?
Portals?
Yeah. Fuck that thing.
I
Have you
do
been liking
like
it?
I do like Spider Portals. I like it a lot.
I mean, do you prefer it? Do you
ASM
prefer
is
it over
so fucking
Riots?
good.
Riots is probably better, right?
That's the issue, right? Riots is better because the heal on Riots is stupid with webs.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It's ring around the healing
The game
Rosie.
where
It's dumb.
I had a game where I had Zemo, who was, I think he had 1 health, and he was on my side D, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna spend 1 power, I'm gonna heal myself. I'm gonna Master Swordsman and Steel Rush, and I dazed Electro or something, and then I backed up to my back point, and then I long moved over to the other D, and then I sat there and I healed, and then I activated Wong the next activation and healed him for 2, and he was back at full on my back
Yeah.
D. Stupid.
I think
So
it's
we're
Riots,
taking
yeah.
so we're taking Riots.
Riots is so
Portals
good.
is really annoying.
Okay.
People fucking hate seeing it,
So we've
but
got Gamma.
Riots is probably just an objectively better pick.
Yep.
So we've got Gamma Scoundrels, Riots, and then we've got Researcher, Spider Infected, and blank.
Do we take
I like
Hammer?
Hammer.
No, I
Do
don't
we
think you take
like
Hammers.
That's what's on the
some-
list originally.
some crazy shit like
I think you take
Senators?
Senators or Cubes.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, if we're focusing on the web side of it, yeah, Senators or Cubes. I think Senators. Well, plenty of the
And
webs,
Gwen's
or
in the
well,
roster, right?
Gwen is, yeah.
most of the webs have some sort of way of getting more move.
So
Yeah, Gwen's in the
Gwen,
roster.
if you ended up wanting to play Midnight Suns and Senators, Gwen can like bump, punch something, move, punch something, move again with a Senator.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're landing on Senators, you're just playing webs, right? You're not fucking
We
around
don't
with
have-
Blade.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, we don't?
Yeah, we don't have
It's
Gwen in
just
our
not-
current list.
I thought we put her in.
No. It's Blade, iHulk, Cat, Shang-Chi, ASM, Miles, Spectacular, Zemo, Wong.
Oh, I thought
and
we dropped
Toad.
Spectacular.
Do you want to drop
For Gwen,
Spectacular
yeah.
for
So what do
Gwen?
we play at 19
Okay.
on Senators with this list?
You play
We've established
whatever webs-
our secures and extracts, right? Patrick, do we have 3 and 3?
Right now we've got Gamma Scoundrels, Riots, and Researcher.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like
Spiders and
Senators or
Senators.
Cubes, I think. I think we got to figure out. So on Senators, what are you bringing at 19 with webs?
So you're gonna bring double twos and something of a combination of 5, probably? Whether it's ASM. I don't know, you can't do ASM because that gets weird. Yeah, you can. You can go ASM double 3s and a 4.
Yeah, but your 4 is Shang-Chi.
Oh, we don't have
Right.
webs
No.
4?
No, she's not.
I mean, yeah, Gwenham's
No.
in there
They're out.
because we just dropped.
No,
No, we
I
don't.
thought we
Gwen.
just
Out.
dropped spec
That
for
doesn't
Not
work.
Gwenham.
Gwenham.
No, the other Gwen.
That doesn't work.
Okay. They need
Maybe
to knock
it's-
it off with this alter ego shit. I'm sick of
Maybe
getting
it's
confused with it.
Shang-Chi and whatever combination of webs 15 you would want to run.
So the way I'm looking at it, when are you running double twos? It's like at 16 and 19 typically, right?
20? Is there? It's 20.
I mean, you could at 20,
What?
but like you're
At 19,
maximizing at
yeah.
16 and like at 19 you're taking 5 3s and 2 2s. You're going 7 wide and just being obnoxious. And then at 16 you're taking 4 3s and 2 2s and you're going 6 wide at 16, just being obnoxious.
Yep.
Like obviously those are like the earliest breakpoints for those. But if we don't have 5 3s, we can't do the 19 thing at all. Regardless.
What is? We do have 5 3s, right?
What do we have? I need to write this down.
Yeah.
We have
We got
We got it should be Miles, Cat,
yep.
Gwen, Zemo.
We kicked out Spectacular, right?
Oh no, I guess. Yeah, no, I guess we only have 4 threes.
Is it Moon Knight?
What?
I don't want it to be Moon Knight
Why
though.
would you put Moon Knight in?
Like, so we'd have to take another
Well,
another 3, right?
What do we drop for?
That's what
Who
I'm
do we drop
saying.
for the 3?
So that's why I'm saying like
I mean,
we have to
if we're
drop a 2
doing
because like our use cases for 2s are like certain threat levels, and we don't really. I mean, we can hit the 16, but not the 19. And if
so,
We just drop Toad.
let's
You
drop
drop
Toad for
Toad?
now. Let's see if it works with our math better.
okay,
What are we putting in?
and then add in
Or
a
Gwen?
Moon Knight.
No, I don't think. I think we're looking for a 3, right?
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I think so too.
So we're looking for a 3.
I don't think we need an
Webs,
affiliated 4 if we're dropping our 2. If we're
No.
dropping our 2, it doesn't.
And we've got because we've got
'Cause, like this list is kind of like missing the 2 roster spots is kind of making it go all in on ASM,
right.
which is probably fine. Like you just plan on running ASM
Yeah.
every game and just being
Yeah, I mean,
not as flexible in your like width variability, but that's fine probably.
Yeah, I mean, it probably just is Spectacular then.
You think you put Spectacular in?
Yeah, I think you for Toad. I think
for
you take
Toad?
out Toad, put
For
Spectacular
Toad,
in.
you mean?
But what is
Because I think if you're gonna bring another 3, it's got to be. Well, I mean, if you're gonna bring another
It's got to
3
be.
in,
It's
right?
got to be him because he's the only other
It's probably
affiliated that's worth anything.
affiliated 3. Yeah.
We got Moon Knight. Is that it? Okay.
Yeah, the for affiliated, yeah.
If we put Spec in, we got Miles, Cat, Gwen, Spec, Zemo. So we have 5.
Yep.
Yep.
And then Shang-Chi.
Yeah, you could
for
do
19.
that. Yeah. I don't hate that.
That's a good 19. I like that. I like that.
Then we have we have
Just
ASM,
super
Wong, Blade,
annoying.
Hulk, Shang-Chi. Who am I missing?
Blade, Hulk, Cat, Shang-Chi, ASM, Miles, Gwen, Zemo, Wong, Spectacular.
Okay. I can't count. Yeah, I do have 10 then. All right, so we got the 19 covered. 16, we can go 3-3-3-3-4 at 16. We're just not
Yep.
going to be as wide.
Yeah. Is that a problem with Senators? Might it mean leaning back to cubes?
At Senators,
I don't
we
think
can
so.
still go 6 wide.
Yeah, and you're probably gonna be able to pick 19 anyway, because most of the time, I mean, people still for some reason pick secures against me, and I don't know why.
At 17, you can also go. You can.
It's because you have spider portals.
Well,
and
yeah, but I
people
mean, I'm
hate
just
that
saying that
action.
like that just seems. Usually, it's like just most of the time it's just the like. It's like whatever. I'll just play my secures, right?
Yeah, it seems like giving
17, you
Webs
can
their
also
XP
go.
Yeah,
seems
because
like
I
a bad
mean,
idea.
You can also go ASM and a 2 instead of Shang-Chi and a 3.
Yeah.
Same at 19. Yeah.
Well, the only still is Wong.
Which is good. Wong's good. I like Wong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's just
in both of those cases, if we take ASM and our 2, that's 7 points. 19 minus 7 is 12. We take our 4 3s.
Yep.
Which would be Cat, Gwen, Zemo, and Miles.
Mhm.
So
And
and then at
I like Miles.
16 we could go ASM a 2 and then 3 threes. So like Miles, Cat, and then like Gwen or Zemo. So
Yeah.
like I'm not seeing a reason to have Spec in the list. I think the list maybe all ends on ASM if we can get something better for
I
that
think so
10th
too.
spot.
But what
Is it a second 2?
That is
Well,
the
Can we
question.
do anything with a second 2?
do you go? Do we go back to Toad to give that kind of semi midline grab?
My
I
other
think that was
thought
kind of the idea at the
is
start.
maybe if we I'm thinking if like we land on an opponent's researcher and it doesn't come up 15, it would be according to ours, so we'd be at 20 or 17 or 15, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you'd put in for 20. I guess you could have a 5. 17 is weird. You have to put in Wong, which I don't love. Like
Yeah.
Blade Eye Hulk, Shang-Chi, Wong. Like, you don't get a ton of extra for that 2 threat. But if we played,
Well,
I don't think it's worth dropping Infinity Formula to like manipulate the threat. But that 17 is a little weird. I'm wondering
No.
like what you could like. Are any of these? I like Cat in the attrition matchup. Staggering their
Yep.
biggest threat every round is
mhm.
really good when you're punch them in the face with Eye Hulk
Super
and
good.
Shang-Chi.
100%.
So like
Yeah.
18
Super good. Yeah. I like it.
is fine. We're not
Mhm.
landing on 18 ever. And on researcher.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything Webs want to take at 18 for here. Maybe we just leave this 10th slot open and we'll just like marinate on it.
Maybe it's just Bill.
I don't.
Okay.
What does Bill get us?
You know,
Yeah.
when would you use Bill instead of Shang-Chi?
Tough. It's
Maybe
tough.
it is tough. Maybe it's into the other kaiju.
Do you ever look at
Shang-Chi's
if you
sometimes a
wanted
little
to?
weird with kaijus because he can't push them.
You can stagger him though.
He can. He's not a bad choice, but sometimes he just isn't as great into the,
Yeah.
especially if it's like if it's like CGR Hulk Star-Lord, right? You probably don't want Shang-Chi there.
Mm,
Would there be any value for an Agent Venom if you wanted to like have an anti-web tech in some way?
If he's good, I don't know what he's doing for Suns,
I mean, if we're just kind of
and I
trying to
don't know
figure
what he's
out.
doing for Webs. On the flip side,
yeah.
it's like if you wanted to play the beat down into Webs, you just play Suns, right? Like,
Yeah, that's probably
and
true.
so then you're probably not bringing AV and Suns
Yep.
because that's just like, I mean, he's already got his place. Like, what is it? The bump doesn't do much for him.
So
Yeah.
I don't hate Voodoo.
I'm
Yeah,
looking.
Voodoo's good too.
Just because
Yeah.
he can stack onto your 15 for a 19. And I feel like there's a lot of
Yeah.
attrition lists. There are a lot of scenarios where 19 is a good pick for them. Just because it's like virus or intrusions or demons or something. Like,
Yeah.
I think Voodoo
So
still probably fine. Like, he's fine in the webs list, and he can keep you affiliated while you're running Shang-Chi at 19.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Well, let's slot that for now.
okay. Okay. So let's all right, so we've just a kind of a reset. We've got Blade, Hulk, Black Cat, Voodoo, Gwen, ASM, Wong, Zemo, Shang-Chi. Okay. And then for Crisis, we've got Gamma, Scoundrels, and Riots, and Researcher, Spiders, and Senators.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then let's.
Do we talk X cards?
Last thing then is we want to. Yeah, I think we want to go with that. So, he landed on Bats, Siege of Darkness, All Webbed Up, Mass Menace, Sacrifice, Brace for Impact, Cat and Spider. He had Lethal Protector for Eyes on the Prize, so we're not doing that. One Below All, and then
Smash, but Smash is out.
What else? Oh, Recal.
Oh, Recal. Okay. Okay.
Recal for Smash.
Okay.
So, other
I mean, I think
than
you take.
Lethal
I
Protector,
think you take Patch Up instead of Sacrifice, right?
Yeah, 100%.
For
Oh,
Isle.
yeah, 100%.
how come? For Hulk? Yeah. Yes, 100%.
I think you take. I don't think you take Cat Spider. I don't see.
I mean, we don't even have Spectacular anymore, so.
Yeah, and you're not doing it with
Oh.
ASM
Just
because if
before
you're
ASM.
going to mid steal, you just
Yeah.
mid steal with
Yeah.
ASM. So I think you sell that out.
Okay.
What does that leave us? Fallback needs to be in here.
So we've still got basically that leaves us 2 empty spots if we're good on everything else, because we're we're not doing Lethal Protector.
Yeah.
So we've got whatever the Cat and the Spider was and whatever Lethal Protector was.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
fallback.
I think fallback
Yeah,
needs to
any
go
list
in the
that
list.
doesn't have
It's not
fallback
in
at this
there.
point is just wrong.
Yep.
Not to sound like a dick, but
Yeah. No, I was fallback and Recal are gonna
like
be in like
the two of them
80%
together
of lists now.
in every list. Probably. I mean, I could see Recal being 80. Like fallback's 100, so whatever Recal is going to be.
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
Yeah,
Chi
probably.
Mastery. That's
Okay,
the other
so
card.
Yeah, you need that.
Chi Mastery.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that gets us to 10. Because then it's Bats, Siege of Darkness, All Webbed Up, Mass Menace, Patch Up, Brace for Impact, Fallback, Chi Mastery, One Below All. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I like Recal.
Not gonna
Recal,
lie.
Patch Up, Bats, Siege, and Brace are like probably your de facto picks for the beatdown 15.
For Midnight
And
Suns.
then like
Yeah, I think so.
well, fallback's also very good. And it's a combination of the 6. So you kick one
Maybe
out.
instead of Bats.
It's either I don't think you kick.
Right.
It might actually be Brace.
You pull Brace for.
I think it's like no, like in the 5. So I think maybe I'd take fallback, Recal, Siege, Bats, and Patch Up.
Patch Up.
Patch Up.
Yeah. It's probably.
Like the thing I noticed with
Unless you got Shang-Chi, then Chi Mastery comes in there somewhere.
Oh shit, Chi Mastery. I forgot he was. Yeah. Well, we have to bring that card too. So yeah, you got plenty of picks for the 15.
Yeah.
So
One card that I
Yes.
noticed wasn't in there.
Spider
Tracker.
Tracker and Wheatcakes
How
for
do
the
we feel about
mirrors.
that?
I think you probably could. I think Wheatcakes probably just suck it up, whatever. Because I mean, I didn't use Wheatcakes and at all at Show Me.
Did you
So, I mean, I didn't
play into it?
face a webs player.
Would
but
you have brought it into a webs player? Do we want to make
I
our
mean, it's
disadvantages
good
more
into a webs player.
disadvantageous? Like if we're already a dog
But
going into webs, like do we want to be more of a dog by not taking cakes? I'm not a webs player, so I've never played a webs mirror. Like what?
I think you could.
How?
I think you could legitimately drop cakes. I think it's not.
Well, you're probably playing a spread out crisis if you're in a webs mirror. Most likely. I mean, in this list is run a gamma, but we're assuming we're at four Ds and two Fs from the pool, basically.
Yeah.
Is one below all valuable enough to take up a 10?
It's good. One below all
It's good, but your Patrick does have a
good.
point. Like,
It's
are you
good,
bringing?
but-
I don't think you're bringing one below all in the matches where you're bringing iHulk.
Yeah, because
Right.
one below all does have less value in Suns because of the bump.
Well, still has a ton of value, but I think that like the maps you're playing this team on don't really need to be like a bump and a gamma leap should probably get you where you need to go on that kind of stuff. It's not like you're playing a D.
saying.
I mean, I guess you could be playing a D, but they would be researchers, so it doesn't matter. Like you're just going to camp researcher. Doesn't need to move.
It just seems like the value you're going to get for that card as compared to something like Spider Tracker for
Well, not only
it just
that,
seems
but
like Spider
like
Tracker seems like a
I
better
wasn't even
investment.
including one below all in the 5 I was trying to think of, and there were already 6. We had Bats, Siege, Brace, Recal, Patch Up, Fallback. Like we're adding one below all on that too.
Chi Mastery.
And Chi Mastery, yeah. So I mean, like we have plenty. We might be able, depending, we might even cut like Recal too.
Yeah, I think you do actually.
Like I do like Recal.
Just thinking about it.
Like especially with Smash gone, I think that you really need to have some dice manipulation.
Have
with
a way
them.
to push damage.
So like Recal and Siege
if you like flub.
Huh?
Like flub a attack roll.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
saying?
like to be able to guarantee a throw on an attack with bats, or to just Recal a shitty attack. Like on your 7th threat, it's pretty valuable. Also, same reason like fallback is because it's your 7th threat, and you don't want them to get 2-shot. Patch up. Like the reason I don't like brace as much is like, okay, you're throwing my eye Hulk into my blade. Okay, whatever. Like my blade dazes. I don't really care. Like I'd be more concerned if you were able to just kill Hulk.
4 physical, so I mean, and Blade has 4 physical, so he's not gonna like. I mean, he's still probably if he's got like 3 health, he dazes.
Yeah,
but if he's full, I mean, obviously can't. But
yeah. I mean, I still like it, but I think it's probably. I think you go bats and Recal, and then like Siege's auto. And I think if you're playing like the beatdown patch ups auto, just to make Hulk literally immortal, and then probably fallback. So it'd be like Bat, Siege, fall. Shit. But we got Chi Mastery. It's got to be Chi Mastery too. Guaranteeing a stagger is really good, or just guaranteeing a kill. Like you actually have dice. You actually have kind of cool dice fixing with like the bats, the Recal,
like,
the Chi Mastery.
Well, and like flipping other people's dice is stupid. That's how I got a cat at Show Me. Was I had like 5 hits and she blocked like 2, and I was like, oh nope, you're going down.
Bye, bitch.
Okay, so our current 10 is Bats, Siege, All Webbed Up, Mass Menace, Patch Up, Brace, Fallback, Chi Mastery, Recal, and Spider Tracker.
You didn't say Wheatcakes, right? Okay, so back to Wheatcakes.
I did not say Wheatcakes.
Do we boot something for
Okay.
Wheatcakes?
What do we boot for Wheatcakes though?
Well, nobody's really talked much about whether or not or
True.
how you'd use Mass Menace.
Yeah, that would like thinking about it. I think Mask Menace would be the card I'd drop for Wheatcakes
Okay.
if we were to take Wheatcakes.
Yeah, that is probably so. My thing with Mass Menace is I usually will take it when I'm playing like a pay to flip or something I know that's going to be taxing my power. And
Okay.
and I usually try to look at characters who get the most value out of it, like Spectacular, but we're not running Spectacular,
Yeah,
so
that's kind of where my head
like
was at
he's
too.
not
Right.
really getting value
Yeah.
out of it. Well, and like Shang-Chi doesn't really get value uh out of Mass Menace either.
It-
Like I'm trying to think if there's like any unaffiliated picks that would like actually benefit from Mass Menace. I mean, ASM, he gets use of it, but he also always has power anyway because it's fucking crits. So you probably can drop Mass Menace, I think, since it's not a dedicated webs roster.
I mean, it's a cool card,
Right, like
but it does
So we got-
have opportunity
It
cost,
is.
right? Because you're not able to take something else. Like even
Yeah.
without Mass Menace,
Well, and, like-
the de facto I'm seeing is Webbed Up, Brace, Spider Tracker, Patch Up, Fallback. Like, is it better than any of those 5?
Yeah.
no, I don't think so.
Well, and because we're kind of trying to do
You do.
a two things in one list, you really have to kind of
Yeah.
have to cut it right down to the bone. And I
Yeah.
don't know that Mass Menace makes that
I
cut.
don't think it does either.
Okay, so Bats, Siege, All Webbed Up, Wheatcakes, Patch Up, Brace, Fallback, Chi Mastery, Recalibration Matrix, and Spider Tracker.
I like that.
I think the list is looking pretty
Not gonna
lean.
lie.
Okay,
I like it.
so
Yeah, I think this is my fuck.
I kind of like it actually.
I think it might. Yeah, I'm like, maybe I want to play
Yeah.
this. Because
All right,
I
well, we got our
drafted
list.
Immortal
Well, there you go,
Hulk
Ben.
for the league.
think-
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna paint my Immortal Hulk. Now I kind of want to play him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to save an episode for that. We did a kind of a what if draft league. We'll put a pin in that. So we'll talk about that once we get into it a little bit. But okay, so I think we've got the list. I'm just gonna run through it real quick, and then we'll post it in the show notes. So the roster is Blade, Hulk, Cat, Wong, Voodoo, ASM, Miles, Ghost Spider, Zemo, and Shang-Chi. Crisis are Gamma, Scoundrels, Riots, Researchers, Spider, Senators. And the Crisis are Bats, Siege, All Webbed Up, Wheatcakes, Patch Up, Brace, Fallback, Chi Mastery, Recal, and Spider Tracker. So thanks for sending that in, Ben. That was really a thought-provoking roster, and I think we're all are now sort of intrigued to see how it plays out. So let us know once you hear it, what you think about it, if you get a chance to play it, and what kind of results you get if you do. We really appreciate it. If you've got a roster that you'd like us to talk through, you can reach out to us on any of the socials. You can reach us at Witty Bantercast or at wittybantercast@gmail.com. So let's finish things up. We went to Show Me, and it was the first event, really substantive event, that we've had that was post rotation. So what stood out to you guys in terms of how the game felt different after the changes? What was kind of your top line impression?
It was nice not having to play against Bill all 5 games.
Preach.
It's still good. It's still good.
Did the absence, first of all, did you guys see the midline steal kind of not be in play in the games that you had?
Yeah, I did.
I know
too.
I did.
Well, and I noticed that I was reaching for ASM most of my games because I'm like, oh, I got like a mid steal here, and they can't do anything about that. Okay.
I did the same thing.
Well,
It seemed like
Go ahead and say what you were gonna say, JP.
I'm trying to think.
go ahead, JP.
I ran into a Brotherhood list. Then I ran into David Webbs, and then I ran into 2 Asgard in a row, and then I ran into Patrick with Sentinels. So I didn't really. I mean, David had Webbs, but I mean, if we're talking about the tournament, how many Webbs players were there, David? Like 2 or 3?
There was
3.
3 of us. There was me, Quentin, and Cray.
Oh yeah, Cray did bring them.
I think
Yeah.
Cray
So
played.
out of 36
Okay.
players, there were 3 Webbs. So it's like not great representation for as
Nope.
good as they are.
Yep.
So just to run it down, we had 7 criminals, 6 defenders, 3 Brotherhood, 3 Web, 3 Shield, 3 Asgard, 2 Midnight Suns, 2 Spider Foes, 2 X-Men, 2 Guardians, and then Winter Guard, Sentinels, Cabal, Inhumans, Black Order, and Avengers.
A lot of crims.
So
A lot of crims. There are a lot of crims.
a lot of crims. Which, I mean, if there's anything to talk about a change in the meta, no Hellfire, no Wakanda.
Yeah, and evidently
Yeah.
Kenny said that his crims list is like just slaughtering Webb's lists. So I don't know. Maybe there's something
Yeah.
there.
Maybe.
Yeah, I want to look at Aaron's list a little bit more too, because Aaron beat.
Oh yeah, that's
Quentin
true. I
with
didn't even think about
Crims.
that. I knew they played, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together. The crims
Yeah.
beat Webbs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
So I'm
smashed
curious if
somebody with
those
who played
lists,
Crims
Yeah.
Kenny's and
on
Aaron's
round.
are
I
similar.
think Aaron just copied Kenny.
I think I smashed him on round 1.
There were
That's what Kenny says anyway.
there were 22 out of the 36 lists that gave coded lists. So we have at least, I think, pretty decent data. So the top 10 characters were Bullseye, Black Cat, Zemo, Rhino, Toad, Namor, 2 out of 5 with a time gem, Electro, Shang-Chi, Amazing Spider-Man, and Kingpin. That feels like it's different than a tournament that we would have seen a month ago.
What do you think feels different about
Yeah.
it?
Big Ten.
Kingpin, right?
No Bill.
No Bill, no Hulk.
Was Logan on
Logan
top 10 though?
disappeared.
I don't know
Logan
if Logan was on top 10s.
He was. Logan was everywhere, right?
Was he?
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah. And I mean, with the popularity of Hellfire
I mean,
Club
Hellfire
at the
took
time,
Well, and
him.
like
X-Force took him, and X-Men.
X-Force. There's a couple Webs players in the Webs Discord that swear by Logan and Webs too.
I did get beat by a Logan Webbs player in
Logan.
Yeah, he's
He's
one of them
down at the team tournament.
at
Well,
Squaggles.
All I could think of was Sweaty Room.
Sweat holes.
Well, of the 22 lists, Logan did not make the top 56.
Yeah, I mean Namor is definitely a standout. I think that's just because he's new. I don't know if he's actually that good.
Yeah. Well,
Verdict's still
Yeah, I
out.
don't know
I don't
either.
know. I'm not impressed with him so far. I could change my mind. I reserve the right.
well, I don't think it's an
No.
accident that Shang-Chi's in the top 10. I don't think it's an accident that ASM's in the top
Yeah.
10. And I mean, with all of the changes, I mean, talk about what's old is new again. You know, does everybody just basically come home and say, "Yeah, we just want to have Baron Zemo on our list"? Because there were 3 characters that were taken 8 times, and it was Bullseye, Black Cat, and Baron
Yeah.
Zemo.
I mean,
9-2.
that's
And to go back to our earlier conversation in terms of tactics cards, the most common ones were Brace for Impact, Fallback, Recalibration Matrix, Sacrifice, This is a Robbery, Patch Up, Venomized, Indomitable, I Am a Baron After All, which is interesting,
wow, joint effort.
and
That's
Joint Effort.
Crazy.
Venomized is kind of crazy. I'm
Well,
still.
well, but it's I mean when you have an affiliation and you're kind of out of affiliation, out of character cards, I mean, what else are you going to take? You've got fallbacking at recal, and then if you've got another card to take, it's Joint Effort, or it's Grievous Wounds,
Yeah.
or it's Heavy
Yeah, there's
Firepower.
not a
I mean,
lot
they're
of
just
good
there's
unaffiliated cards.
If you're out, you're out.
I mean,
There's
there's
just
no
not
other,
a lot of them. Yeah.
if you, yeah, I mean those cards like that are gonna, because it's like, well, I don't want to take 9 cards.
Yeah.
I mean, Grievous Wounds is 18th on the list. Which, when's the last time you saw Grievous Wounds on a list?
What is Grievous Wounds even for?
I Hulk and Patch Up?
Apocalypse, who hasn't come out yet?
I don't know.
No, Grievous Wounds that's the one that you can't take damage off a character
No,
during their activation?
Yeah,
during the activation phase? Or why do you take it?
Yeah,
you
like
mean?
who's using it? What are they taking it for?
Right. That's what I mean. I wonder if it's just, I got an empty spot and I don't have anything else to do, so maybe I'll find a spot for it. Maybe I'll go up against a healing team or something. I don't know. Yeah, maybe
That, or like, I don't hate it against Hulk.
It's tough timing
Yeah.
on that though, right? Because they're probably gonna have Cryo,
Oh,
and
very
they'll
tough
probably just
timing.
be
I'm
able
not
to patch
denying
up,
that.
Yeah, it's not
right?
great.
I don't know. I'd have to look at the
Just-
text on Grievous.
Grievous doesn't stop you
So
from
if
healing
During a character's activation, when it targets an enemy character
phase.
with an attack, it may spend 1 to play this card. If the
Well,
target
yeah, yeah.
it's the
character is dealt
activation.
damage by the attack, so yeah, it's attached to an attack that has to deal damage.
Oh,
The target character cannot
and you
have
have to play
damage
it
removed
before-
from
Right.
this activation phase.
Yeah,
Right.
so Hulk can still heal himself. Yeah, if he gets dazed, he can still heal himself. That happens in cleanup.
Right. So I suppose theoretically it would be
No. I'm not talking about on his healthy path. I'm talking about
That's what
after
I'm
he's gotten
saying.
his token.
So
If you're able to somehow get
Well,
it
that's what I'm
off,
saying. Like they're probably gonna have
it's
priority.
a lot better. If
They
you
probably just
somehow
patch
get
up
it off.
Hulk, remove the token.
right, but if you have priority,
Agreed. That's why I'm saying somehow.
if you have priority going into iHulk and you can hit him with Grievous Wounds, then you're really
Yeah,
in
it
good
probably
shape.
just doesn't happen
There's a
though.
lot of there's a lot of ifs. You got to do damage.
I mean, there is a reason we have been talking about never seeing the card before, but we now live in a world where we have to find a use for Grievous
I
Wounds.
mean, I think Dracula really hates it.
I mean, it is good in
Yeah.
Hulk. But I don't know if there were a lot of tall lists running around.
No, I think that was, I agree. I think that was kind of the
I just don't know what
So
you do
like
with
you'd probably only put it in a tall list
mean,
to fight other tall lists that
the
have I-Hulk? Because if you put it in a list that's not tall, you're never going to get prio to land it on I-Hulk during the patch up. So, like, there's no reason.
true. True.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And it's, I mean, like,
Yeah.
what, like, I mean, I don't know what it's to stop Thor's leadership. What do you do?
No, I don't know. So to put myself on blast, I totally had a bad meta read. I thought everyone was going to bring Shang-Chi because the dude is busted. So I was thinking about bringing. This is how much I overthought. I was thinking about bringing Avengers with Shang-Chi in it, but I'm like, well, fuck. Everybody knows that Shang-Chi's busted. They probably have got a bunch of tech for him. So maybe I don't bring Shang-Chi and I'll bring the stuff that is good and also good into Shang-Chi, which is Guardians, like with ranged energy attacks. So I brought Guardians and then like didn't see a single Shang-Chi all day.
That's funny.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
you ran into. Did you run into
I
Loki
mean,
twice?
I ran into Loki twice. And dice just were not cooperating in my third round against the guy who ended up winning. Like I had that game on lock, but my dice just failed me miserably. Because I had taken his hero Thor off. We were playing 15 Gamma Researcher, and I had Star-Lord, Hulk, CGR. He had Loki, Bill, and hero Thor, which was kind of scary for me because Bill's just really not good for my health when he can throw my guys. I've got a size 4 and a size 3. But hero Thor is also really fucking scary. So I took his hero Thor off the board, and then he took my Star-Lord off the board, and it was down to Loki and Bill versus CGR and Hulk, which felt pretty good to me. But yeah, just I had 3 activations in a row. No, sorry, two activations. Like one at the end where I attacked with the Hulk. So Venomized story. I brought Venomized like probably a handful of games now. I put it on the table. Yeah, probably like 5. This is the first time I actually used it. Hulk was at like, I don't know, 13 damage or something. So I activate Hulk, spend 3 for Venomized and an action, and the Tactics card. Then I spend 3 to attack with the second action, and throw 10 dice, and do 0 damage. And then with my remaining 2 power, I threw the character who I attacked, because I couldn't kill them. And yeah, I suck at this game. I cannot figure out this Venomized window. It is tough. It is really tough.
Well, and I mean, I think that card's gonna get more and more use just with
True.
just because it's like, why not? If you don't have other either character or team affiliated specific cards. I mean, it's just with the way they cut that down, it just feels like the game's in a really weird spot in terms of filling out your tactics cards, unless like your shield and have 1,000 affiliated cards that you have already.
Yeah, I had that Hulk whiff, and then I had 2 Cosmic Ghost Rider attacks that whiffed in the final round, and that was the loss. And he double tapped my Hulk. I had to burn Recal on CGR's second attack because I'm shooting at Bill with 1 health left. Can't do a damage on the first attack. Can't do a damage on the second attack. So I Recal the second attack. Finally get it.
Oof.
Finally get the 1 damage on Bill. But I burned Recal, which I was holding for I-Hulk because I thought Loki was going to spike if I-Hulk, or I keep saying I-Hulk, regular Hulk. If regular Hulk lives, I just move up, throw Loki off, and win. but he ended up doing 7 damage on 2 attacks. So, womp womp.
After my first game, I won my first game, and I was, as a Sentinels player, kind of trying to talk myself into, okay, well, maybe not having Smash is okay. Maybe it was just kind of messing around. By the end of by the end of the tournament, I was like, no, I miss.
I mean,
Smash.
getting
I
8
miss
dice for
Smash a lot.
Sentinels is huge. 2 power for 8 dice.
It's
Yes,
just,
please.
as like, oh, as if this
Yeah.
as if this affiliation wasn't hard enough to play. So, any other kind of just broader thoughts? I mean, it's very much TBD. I think, we're just at the start of figuring out what this new thing's going to be like. But any other kind of just broader, how the game feels different, observations that you had post
I
Show
think
Me?
webs still feel good, man. I mean, my games where I won all of them like on round 3, and it was like 16 or 17 to like 5 or something stupid. Like
Ooh.
it was like ridiculous. Like when they could dominate the crisis,
Mhm.
it's like nothing my opponent could do. Like I played Kingpin on round 1, and I just was like Kingpin sat on the back D, and I didn't care about him until the last round when I needed to throw him away. And then like I basically just dominated the other 3 points and had all of the extracts. It was stupid.
I don't like meta's weird, right? Like I don't even know what it means.
Mhm.
Like for all intents and purposes, it's your local meta, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't even put my finger on a meta right now. Like it would have
No, I
to be
don't think
some
I can.
big ass tournament or like multiple big
Yeah.
tournaments to see.
Yeah, our meta's weird because we just have a lot of people that don't care what they're playing. Not in a bad way or anything. They just want to play the game to play the game.
Mhm.
And there's nobody like we don't have 10 guys
Yeah,
that
and I
are
think that's a
taking
lot of
all of the best
metas.
things.
So,
Yeah.
So it's hard.
So, is that evidence that the game's in a good place? If there's not like one just super obvious
No, because like
thing
Alex
to
was
do
saying,
and
like
maximize
if they're just
chance
trying to be
win.
casual and play games, they don't really care.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying is like, is with the way the rule changes with the stuff that happened, I don't know that we're in a circumstance, and maybe we just don't know yet because they haven't figured it out. But I don't know that there is an obvious, oh well, if you want to win, run this. It just seems like there's
I
a
mean, I
number
think
of
there's always been a
different
number of paths to
paths to
victory. I
victory.
mean, sometimes like fewer than others, but I do feel like it's probably decent. I agree with David. I think webs are still really, really stupid.
I think
Yeah, I would agree.
defenders are good. I
Maybe
think
that's. I was just gonna say maybe it's recency bias for me, but boy, defenders feel a lot different to go into than they did before.
anytime you got affiliated Shang-Chi is just stupid. Like
Yeah. Well, and some of the other cards that the other new cards that defenders got. I mean, cover me on Luke
it's really
Cage
dumb.
is just
Yeah.
annoying. Any other kind of closing thoughts in terms of? I mean, obviously, this is a conversation we're going to kind of keep having for the next few months. We'll kind of watch as things happen. We've got another. We've got novels which are going to break everybody's brains to start with. So I think there's a lot of stuff to know, but at least we got a little bit of a taste of like, okay, what's this new future gonna taste like? Anything else, Alex? Anything else that you can kind of saw or think of, or any kind of like impressions of how the game felt different out of Show Me?
No, not really. I mean, we kind of talked about everything that felt different about the game, and I got my comment out of the way right away,
Okay.
not having to deal with Bill every game.
That was nice.
I was
David, how about
noticing
you?
that going back to the like not teams not having mid steals, a lot of people were like putting characters in danger, and like it was not good. I think I got on round 1. I think I got my opponent's Electro by
Oh.
I dazed him on round 1 by walking Gwen up, impact webbing him, yoinking him forward, then having Zemo, I'm a Baron after all, charge him. He traps me, does 2 damage. I Master Swordsman, and then one-shot him. And then walk onto the point and take his hammer.
That was a bad call on his part.
Yep. That
Well, I mean, it was a bad call, but we're also taking into account that
Well, when you get full
David
rerolls,
rolled
I mean,
perfect dice.
Electro is only 3 physical too, right? So like, when I had 2
I was gonna
attacks,
say.
but again,
Yeah.
that's
I was gonna have 2 attacks. Like I was gonna get him.
but
Right,
Well,
but
yeah.
David, you
I
said
mean,
one
it just
shot,
gave me
and
the
nobody
option to
one
like
shot
walk
this
onto the
out not
point,
like
but I
that.
probably was just gonna master, or I was probably just gonna steel rush onto the point.
Steel rush.
So, assuming that I did 2 damage.
Right. How about you, JP? Any kind of broader observations on how the game felt different?
I mean, I played a lot more Asgard than I normally do. Even though there were 3 Asgard players there only, I ran into 2 somehow. So that was my weird experience. And they both beat me, so
Weren't there only
Dude,
weren't there
new
only 2
Loki's
Guardians
annoying.
players?
Yeah, new
New Loki is annoying.
There were only 2 Guardians players, right?
yeah, it was me and Casson, I think.
And I caught both of you.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
That's funny.
I didn't really. I wasn't like looking around at trays. Usually I'd scope it out a little bit more, but for whatever reason I wasn't really looking at trays too much.
It was a little harder because it was a little bit more. I don't want to say crowded than usual, but there was like the magic guys and just
Yeah.
like the tables were. They didn't use the tables in
It was-
the other room. Stuff. Yeah,
It felt pretty snug.
because normally there's only
Okay. Well,
maybe 6 games in that front room, and then they just push the rest out.
yep.
There definitely felt like there was more games in that
Well,
front room than usual.
I would agree. Well, this will be a conversation that we'll kind of keep coming back to. So, Webheads, what are you seeing? We'd love to hear your perspectives on if you've gotten some games in now that the rules have changed. What are you seeing? How do you think it's different? How do you think it's the same? Do you feel like the game's in a better or worse place? Let us know. You can get in touch with us. We can contact us on all the socials, Witty Bantercast. You can follow us on Patreon, patreon.com/wittybantercast. You could also, we would very much appreciate it if you left us a rating and a review on your podcast catcher of choice. That really helps other people to find us, helps to both grow our podcast and to grow the MCP community as a whole. So we will be back in 2 weeks. So until next time, Webheads, be good.